Good afternoon, my name is Ana Lucia Gonzalez and I'm going to talk about today's influences of technology. Social networks have evolved over the time. They are no longer just a tool to socialize or interact with people. They have become something bigger than this. Young people have been depending on this and in an unconscious way, and this is where we can observe positive and negative consequences. As I said earlier, social network can help us to feel understood and to deflect our problems. To begin with, I've divided my talk up in 3 sections. First of all, I'm going to explain consequences social media has on children. Then I'm going to explain consequences on teenagers. And finally, I will conclude with pros and cons about technology. I'd like to explain influences social media has on children. And by children, I mean boys and girls between 5 to 10 years. If we think about 10 years ago, our classes were more dynamic and we didn't need any kinds of tablets and iPad. The only things we need were pencil, books, notebooks, and an abacus. Today, on classes, they ask children to bring an iPad and also to download an application in order to make classes more dynamic. Another example is cell phones. When I was 10 years old, I didn't have any cell phone, and also I didn't have any type of communication with my parents. The only thing I knew is that I needed to be at a certain point at the main entrance of school. Now children have many kinds of communication. They also have cell phones, and by many kinds of communication, I mean like Facebook, Messenger, etc., which I think is something good, but if you use it in the correct way. But most people do not give it the correct use, and this can cause some damage to the development of children. Okay, kids start using these electronic devices at young ages. So they fail to develop their imagination like previous generations. If you ask your parents or even your grandparents how their childhood was, they will tell you they had a great one. They used to play outside with boys and girls, like interacting with people. Now children can spend the whole day like playing with video games or chatting with friends. Now, moving on to the next topic, I'm going to explain consequences on teenagers. Okay, to have unlimited access to the internet in your cell phone, you can be a less social person. People have been more dependent on this electronic, and they, instead of being able to have an interesting conversation with people. Another example that I've seen, because I think it's happening, is that if you don't have electronic devices, such as computer, like iPad or iPhone, in which people can reach you, it's harder for you to communicate with people and to have a conversation. Now there is a phrase that says, internet makes you closer to people who are far away from us, but it also makes us become distant with people who are close to us. It sounds better in Spanish, but I think you understand what I'm trying to say. Now I'm going to explain some interesting facts that is happening in Mexico. There are over 18 million internet users, and every internet user spends like 4 hours daily in the profile, and 60% of social networking users are women. To conclude my topic, I will explain pros and cons about technology. First, I'm going to say the pros. You can find greater source of information. You can be more connected to the world. The class working, it's easy. Your communication is quickly. You can make some friends, and it's easy to use. Now I'm going to explain the cons. The cons is that there is no physical exercise. You have no social life. There are so many information there are frauds, and internet addiction. And to conclude, to sum up, I think internet is a global issue that is happening. It can affect all ages, but with more noticeable effects on children and teenagers. But if you use internet in a good way, it can be helpful and can make life easier.